She's this brilliantly intelligent individual with this remarkable set of experiences, very firm opinions from a very early point in her adult life about many, many issues, and very committed to those and passionate about those. There is this question about how well does she collaborate, but she is not an inflexible person, as evidenced by the fact that you brought up Arkansas a minute ago. Well, one of the things that happened between that electoral defeat for Bill Clinton and his return to office was that she changed her name. She stopped being Hillary Rodham and became Hillary Clinton because that was an issue in Arkansas of 1978, 1980. And she came to look a lot different than the Hillary that I was around on any number of occasions back in those days. And so, I mean, that's a small thing, maybe a superficial thing, but her adaptive ability is not insignificant. No. But the question is, how would all that work now?
Well, one additional observation on this was that, again, Bernard Nussbaum commented on how well she did as a United States Senate candidate in upstate New York. He said, this is because she's not this sort of wild-eyed leftist radical that people expected her to be based on the accounts coming out of the White House, but this was fundamentally a sort of Midwestern matronly figure who was able to go up into upstate New York and some very conservative places and to develop a great deal of support up there. So, I do think that there is some adaptability. Quite beyond the tale that I told about Bill Clinton, on the campaign. I think it's not just you're not stupid enough to repeat your mistakes, but it is that in fact you're a smart enough political figure in your own right to learn from those mistakes. I mean, it's striking. This is the Mrs. Clinton first comes into the public eye 24 years ago, right? Which by my accounting is the longest any presidential nominee has ever been in the public eye in approaching a presidential election. Now, arguably Ronald Reagan, if you go back to the time when he was an actor and maybe in his time working with the Union, but if you trace Reagan's national debut to the early 1960s when he was speaking at the conventions, it's a shorter period of time. I mean, a 24-year public career is a terrible burden in a political culture that rewards freshness and change. And I think it's for all of the advantages that she has as an experienced politician coming in, that it's a disadvantage for her in facing the electorate, because she's got a lot more to answer for than virtually anybody who's ever run for president.